to talk about. So essentially about validity. Because about in terms of the research strategies, we've already discussed that. Um, yung especially yung ang distinction lang naman is kung experimental and non-experimental siya. And sa non-experimental, anong strategies yung or approaches ng research yung ginagawa. Diniscuss na natin siya nawala lang tayong slides pero napag-usapan na natin to. So siguro mga 10 minutes lang ako dito para makamove agad tayo sa validity. Okay? So we call it research strategy. This is maganda basahin nyo si Graviter and Forzano. Provided na yan. Meron siyang chapter nito. May kita nyo agad. Okay? So yun lang naman yung pinagbanguan. Then yung isa ay ito. Alam ko, pin-provide ko na rin yan. Yung article na yun sa sa tawag dun yung sa Google Drive link na nakalagay sa Canvas. Okay. So let's start. So we call it as a quote-unquote research strategy. So this is the general approach to research. So it depends on what kinds of question that you have for your research. When you say the kinds of question, kaya nga tayong meron na tayong discuss about inductive approach ng science and deductive approach ng science. And under the deductive approach, dun tayo gumagamit ng null hypothesis significance testing wherein we are testing the hypothesis na pinreduce ng theories. Okay? So for example, ikaw ay investigator sa isang crime scene. You're putting some pieces of info together, data together. As you try to make sense of that, you develop a theory. So that's inductive reasoning. So the pieces of data are not necessarily logically connected na straightforward. That's why you need a theory to make sense of those data together. And then when you test a theory, it means that there will be a certain prediction to testify that your theory is correct. Okay? So the more hypotheses, the more predictions it can successfully affirm, then the theory becomes stronger and stronger until it gets falsified. So you're testing it over and over using multiple predictions because you want the theory to break eventually. You want it to be falsified because it is possible that the theory might not be good enough. So that's why we're testing the theory. So in that part wherein you're testing the theory, that's already the deductive approach in your reasoning and the deductive approach in science. So for example, you have your question like, what's the average amount of daily time spent on social media sites by adolescents? By the question alone, you can already tell that the strategy here is just descriptive. You're not linking any events together. You're just merely asking to describe some kind of event, right? And then the second question here, let's say, is there a relationship between social media lurking and adult satisfaction with life? Okay? And then finally, do changes in social media use cause changes in depressive symptoms? Pangit naman ito. Ayan. In young adults. Well, hindi nga sinabi kung nag-improve ba or nagiging detrimental. But anyway, this is just to emphasize yung point na magiging na experimental yung approach na magagawa dyan. Kasi nga, the question, we're trying to look for causal relationship. Kaya ganyan yung pagkaka-word. Pero ang pangit. Usually, hindi naman ganyan yung usual na research question for that. Anyway. So you have one topic, but you have 3 different questions. And this would require different research strategies. So obviously, this is descriptive. Then this is correlational. And eventually, this could be experimental. So kasi nga causing change. And we will distinguish the difference between quasi and non-experimental. Pero na-discuss na natin talaga 'to. So again, descriptive examples like polls, no? So you can get it here. Um, we're not asking about relationships. We're just asking, let's say, what's the average family income? Okay? Or kaya inorganize mo siya into percentile design. Okay. So that's descriptive. When you're looking for a relationship between your variables, then that's correlational. And finally, the most relevant to experimental research method, we're usually comparing scores. Okay. So in comparing scores, we have analysis. Research strategy score comparison. Kaya ako kayo ni-review ng independent t-test and ANOVA kasi yun yung ginagamit natin dito kadalasan. Siguro 95% of the articles na mababasa nyo na experiment, most probably nasa score comparison sila. Kaya yun yung focus ng ginagawa natin. Okay? So here, we're examining the relationship between the variables by comparing the scores, at least between two conditions or two groups. Okay? So in experimental, we are manipulating the IV. In quasi, we're saying that the treatment conditions are already there, or that the hindi na ikaw yung nag-manipulate kasi yung characteristics or attributes na hinahanap mo, kumbaga, they already possess it without your intervention. So for example, in clinical setting, mga, let's say, patient, general population or never nagkaroon ng clinical diagnosis, okay, psychological or psychiatric, and then another group na target mo sa data, sa study mo would be those with history of uh, clinically diagnosed depression. Okay? So, hindi mo minanipulate yung condition na yun, but you sought them out because they already possess the attributes that you need in the research. So, we just call it quasi-experiment. Okay? But if you have multiple variables wherein you have something that is manipulated and something that is not, then you can already call it as quasi-experimental. For as long as nahaluan siya ng um, something na kino-compare mo na hindi mo minanipulate. For example, in my thesis, master's thesis, um, my main independent variable is the what we call the hedonistic pleasure ah yun anticipatory pleasure na individual difference factor. So but I manipulated my other variables. That's why it is still considered as a quasi experiment even though I manipulated some of my variables. And of course, non-experimental, you're just measuring something na may kino-compare ka. Okay? So here are some examples. So you already know this. Experimental, intended to answer cause and effect questions. Okay. So here are some examples. Okay. Quasi-experimental, no control, no rigorous control of the independent variable. They already possess the characteristics. Okay. So for example, um those who are still smoking, or let's say those who quit smoking, okay, without treatment. Yeah, hindi, ito pala siya, with treatment, sorry. Kung ano man yung kung ano man yung intervention, for example, so mga pasyente na walang let's say treatment, medical intervention siguro to, and then merong medical intervention, okay? So, ganong karami yung mga nag-quit sa with treatment, for example, saka sa although ibang analysis to kasi ang data niya hindi continuous, okay? So, ibang outcome yung ibang level of measurement siya. So, ibang analysis to. But conceptually, it's the same with regards to the design. Okay? So, non-experimental, let's say you have your demographic factors. So wala ka naman ding minanipulate dun. So that's non-experimental. Nag-compare ka ng scores, but your variable here is something that you just measured. Okay? So next. So here's the decision making that you need to undergo um, in designing your study. So in terms of what research strategy that you're going to use. So how many variables are there? So baka naman kasi kung marami kang multiple yung independent variables mo, meron siyang implication sa statistical analysis. So magiging mixed design siya. And then is it going to be the same set of people? Then it means that's a within subjects design. Or are you going to use different respondents wherein one respondent is only exposed to one experimental condition? Okay? So there you go. So yun, magde-decide ka kung between subject siya or within. Depende pa rin siya sa kung ano yung topic maging appropriate ba na maging between or within siya. Okay? So we call it research design. So it refers to the general framework for conducting a study and specifies whether it will involve groups, okay, or individual people in terms of how you're going to manipulate your independent variable. Okay? So halimbawa, sa experiment, yan nga yung between subjects design and within subjects design. Meron tayong tinatawag na mixed design or factorial design. Meron din tayong tinatawag na cross-sectional. Kung kunyari, nagpa-survey ka na isang beses lang yung time point ng pag-gather mo, we call it as the cross-sectional design sa mga surveys. Pwede rin namang longitudinal design. So, research design din. Okay? So, procedure. So, it is the exact step-by-step description of a specific research study. It is important that you report everything that has transpired in your study, the decisions you made, the instruments you use, the wording that was presented in the, especially in the manipulation, the instruction, the response format. So lahat-lahat, i-explain mo siya to the level of detail that even if the original researcher is no longer around or inaccessible, the report in itself um, will be sufficient to allow other researchers to replicate your work. So it is very important that you have clear write-up on what you did. Okay? Kung computer mediated yan, dinidescribe pa nila yung unit, kung ano yung gamit, dinidescribe pa nila yung dimension ng screen, kung ano yung ano siya, kung may color manipulation, dinidescribe mo yung hex number niya, yung ano pa ba yun? Yung RGB niya. So kung nag-manipulate ka ng color, meron siyang very specific technical details kung anong klaseng manipulation, dimension yung minanipulate mo. Okay? So yun, very technical siya. Lahat ng ginawa mo, pati kung ano yung naging experience ng participant or magiging experience niya. Kung nagpa-incentive ka, whatever, lahat yun, i-explain mo dyan. Okay? So next, external and internal validity. So validity is, by simple terms, the truthfulness of your claim. Kasi 'di ba eventually meron kang claim, ang magiging output ng work mo is yung claim. So ganong ka-believable or ganong ka-credible, hindi credibility. Ganong katotoo yung claim mo. Paano natin masasabi na yung claim mo ay uh, kung kapani-paniwala ba siya in the first place if you undergo several, let's say, skeptical questions about the methods. Okay? So, it's essentially a judgment. Okay? Yun nga, paniniwalaan mo ba siya o hindi? That is based on whether your evidence that you provided support the inference as being true or correct. Okay? So, paniniwalaan mo ba siya? I-assume mo ba na totoo siya? Di ba minsan mayroong mga claims, halimbawa sa mga marketing ads. So, those are claims. So, now you can raise the question of validity. Di ba? Parang, how did you come up with that claim? Okay? So, if you raise that question, you are now questioning the validity of the claim, okay? Nung mga, let's say, advertising statements. So, ang attitude kasi natin dapat dito is to be skeptical. Whenever you encounter a claim, you do not accept it at face value. And your initial reaction should always be um, not to accept it as truth by default and to have a curious mind, no, to approach questions to prod questions na paano niya kaya nasabi? Paano niya kaya nasabi na ganito? Okay? So once you raise that question na paano niya nasabi, you're now asking the validity and you're now concerned with the methodological aspect of how they came up with such a claim. Okay? And so yun nga, ang stance natin is that we can never be certain, okay, that the claim or the inferences drawn from, let's say, one observation or like an experiment are true, even that other inferences have been conclusively falsified. So, pwede rin kasi na, yun nga, meron kang critique sa mga nabasa mo na you end up still not convinced with their conclusion. Na you're taking their claim with a grain of salt, kumbaga. Na because when you examine the methods, you notice that there are some threats to validity. Okay? So just to formally describe, validity is a property of inferences and not a property of designs or methods. So for example, kahit sabihin i-argue mo na, nag-randomize naman ako eh. So still, it does not guarantee that you're going to have valid inference. Randomization is just one part of the element to support the principle of validity. Kasi nga, ang goal lang naman niya is um, to make sure, it's a measure or way for us to distribute equally, theoretically, the error if there is any error around, systematic error around. Okay? So there's no one method that guarantees the validity of an inference. That's why helpful sa RRL na nagsa-cite din tayo ng ibang methods to supplement yung argument natin. Kumbaga, maraming flaws din naman kumbaga may pagkukulang, may strengths and weaknesses siya. So ang experiment, especially kung laboratory based, although the advantage is that you were able to establish cause and effect relationship, the limitation is that is it ecologically valid? When you say ecologically valid, how about in the natural setting, real world scenario, ma-observe mo pa rin ba siya? Syempre hindi nga, di ba? Kasi nga, may nag-confine ka ng variable mo ng target variable mo. Kaya hindi siya technically, kumbaga, parang real world setting. Kung field experiment, pwede mo yung magawa na real world setting siya. Kaya nga, you're making a stronger point in your argument when you cite or identify studies that are saying the same thing but uses different methods. Because kung ano yung weaknesses ng iba, napupunan yun ng strengths ng iba. Okay? But there's no one method that can guarantee all of the validity concerns. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about internal validity. Okay, so it answers the question, did the experiment stimulus make some significant difference in this specific instance? Maaring sa scope ng tanong na yan, nandun yung statistics, nandun yung instrument, nandun yung manipulation mo ba nag-work, di ba? So, appropriate ba yung instrument na ginamit mo? Halimbawa, sa mga IQ test, meron tayong IQ test nakalagay doon yung parang something to do with may compute ka na nickel, dime, ganyan. So, syempre sa atin, hindi naman natin ginagamit yung ganun denomination, especially yung terms na yun, na wala naman tayo sa vocabulary natin na gumagamit tayo ng terms like nickel and dime. Basta sa atin, pesos and cents. So, diba, nickel, dime, quarter. Although familiar naman sa atin yung quarter, but wala siya sa everyday knowledge natin. Okay? So, and yet, i-judge ka ng tool na yun na kapag namali ka dun, meron kang one less score na poorer yung performance mo. Kahit naman technically, kaya mo yung arithmetic nun, di ba? Kaya mong gawin yung arithmetic nun. But since hindi siya culturally appropriate, it becomes questionable. Okay? So, so for the internal validity, you're, we are concerned with does it does this cause or my manipulation is the real cause of why my dependent variable changed that way. That's why your goal as a researcher is to anticipate threats. Okay? So ano yung mga potential issues ng study mo kung bakit ka magkakaroon ng duda. So you want to anticipate people's critique eventually on your work. Kasi if you left out some questions hanging na then yung question sa validity is just open. Kumbaga, hindi mo siya, yung maraming potential issues na hindi kampante yung taong kino-convince mo. Okay? So, for the external validity, ito naman yung how generalizable is your claim. Okay? So, it answers the question, to what population, setting, and variables can this effect be generalized? So, ito bang findings mo, sinasabi mo na applicable siya, itong conclusion na to sa ibang population? Okay. So, para madali niyo matandaan yung internal validity, basta hindi nag-allow siya ng alternative explanation, then may issue yung internal validity mo. For the external validity naman, so for as long as there's any characteristic of the study that limits the ability to generalize the results. Uh, for example, masyadong specialized yung population mo, di ba? So, kung kunyari, or kaya, ang sample mo, mga team sports, mga individual athletes, yung sports nila individual lang. Okay? Na single player lang sila. Tapos may study ka, yung study mo sa kanila, nagkaroon ka ng conclusion na para sa lahat ng athletes na siya. E paano naman, for example, yung mga nasa team sports? Let's say yung construct mo ay may kinalaman whether kung single player or they're working as a team. Okay? So then, posible na may problem siya sa external validity. Also, kung kunyari, sa laboratory setting mo lang siya ginawa, mag-a-apply ba siya kung meron din siyang question kung ecologically valid din ba siya. Okay. So, again, ang concern mo ay generalization. So, different kinds. So, for example, can it be generalized from one sample to the general population? In statistics naman, that's assumed. Okay? So, or from one research study to another. And ito nga, yung real-world situation, ecological validity. Okay? So, statistical conclusion validity, of course, the more technical part of the validity. So, habang usapan din yun. So, kaya nagmamatter dyan din yung sample. Okay? Paano kayo nag-recruit? Ano yung incentive process nyo? Ay, sa internal validity na siguro. Yung sa incentive process. Statistical conclusion. Paano yung scoring na ginawa? Anong transformation ng score yung ginawa? Na-reverse mo ba yung score ng item sa survey mo, sa questionnaire? Kung kailangan siyang, kung mayroong ganun. Or diniretso analyze mo siya. Nag-sum ka ba instead of average? So, concerned din. Okay? So, kaya nga kapag mayroong instrument kang ginagamit, kailangan malinaw sa'yo kung ano yung ginagawa mo. Okay? Construct validity. So, the validity in which inferences are made from the operations in a study to the theoretical construct. How sure are you na yung operational definition mo ay nagre-reflect sa theoretical or conceptual definition ng tinatry mong makapture? Katulad nga ng sinabi ko sa inyong example na may nabasa akong study, ginawa nilang measure as persistence yung pumunta sa factory as extra work na persistence daw yun. So para sa akin, hindi yun persistence kasi hindi mo na isolate. Una, hindi niya define yun. Pangalawa, hindi equal yung playing field sa mga participants. with regards yun na sa accessibility dun sa extra work na yun. Saka hindi malinaw kumbaga yung parameters ng task. Para sa akin, hindi yan nire-reflect. Yung measure na yun, whether they went there or not, is not reflective of what they're saying that it refers to as persistence. So for me, that's not persistence. That's not a way for us to say that it's persistence. So I'm arguing about the construct validity of that measure. Okay? So here are the 4 types of validity na nabanggit natin. So ito yung mga questions. Katapat niya lang yan. Okay? So we are concerned, for example, how large and reliable is the covariation between presumed cause and effect? So we're talking about statistical conclusion validity. So yan nga yung effect size na tinatawag na yung nakita mo ba na statistical significant difference, ganong kalaki yan yung gap ng score. So nakakita ka for example ng statistical effect pero causal ba yan? Di ba? Causal ba yung nakuha mo? Internal validity. Okay? Wala na bang alternative explanation kung ba't yan yung lumabas? Okay? Which general constructs are involved? Okay? Dun sa conclusion mo. So, that's construct, wait lang, tama, validity. And then how generalizable is the locally embedded causal relationship? So we're now concerned with external validity. So some threats to external validity. So bilisan lang natin kasi mabilis lang itong sa external. Okay? So for example, we have our extraneous factors such as the environment, some individual differences variables. So napag-usapan natin to na sa within subjects design, natatanggal niya to. But anyway, so some aspects about the environment. That's why you have your techniques, right? So your techniques like balancing or eliminating. So, okay. So threats to internal validities such as in extraneous factors. So it is any variable in the research study other than the specific variable. So ito yung variable of disinterest. Napag-usapan na natin to week 4 pa lang. Na-establish na natin tong extraneous factor. Okay? So for as long as it could be a potential explanation, that's already a threat. Okay? So for the general, so here are the environmental variables. Basahin nyo na lang to. Examples lang naman yun. Okay? So time-related variables, for instance, nag-change over time yung, kumbaga, not really because of the intervention, but it's just the latency na kung bakit nagkaroon ng changes sa outcome variable. So that's also a problem. Okay? So paano mo, how are you gonna make sure that it's not because of the time lapse? Okay? So yun. Halimbawa, katulad ng sa repeated measures issue natin, di ba, like nagkaroon ng practice effect or kaya sa fatigue. So ngayon, yung threat to validity nga yung order effect. Kaya gumagawa tayo ng counterbalancing to mitigate that issue. Okay? So for every issue that you identify, you want to make sure that you have a counterpart way to try to address it. Okay? Na combination naman siya. Hindi naman siya yung matchy-matchy na kapag ito yung issue, ito. Merong straight, clear-cut rule kung paano siya matitig. So, kaya siya combination mix of many techniques because you want to make sure that you are not letting any stones unturned. Okay? Na nag-imagine ka lahat ng potential rebuttal and ikaw bilang prani, you got it all covered. So, yun yung goal ng if you are very concerned with the validity of your study, you want to anticipate all potential rebuttals sa magiging claim mo. Kung ano man yung magiging outcome. Okay? Whether, kung kunyari, kung nasupport niya yung hypothesis mo, mag-anticipate ka ng tanong, rebuttal ng mga tao, mga critic nila against your work, against your claim. Okay, kasi nga, nasa iyo yung tinatawag na proof of burden, a burden of proof. Dahil you're claiming something, then you are now responsible to provide people evidence to persuade them by the findings that they got. No? Or by the rigorous methods na meron ka that how you come up with the conclusion. Okay, so It's already 9:05.